What's up, everyone? This is Nate, and I am back with another Out of the Theater review. This week, I did go check out the latest DC film called Blue Beetle, and I just got home. I'm going to give you my thoughts, but before I get into the review, please, if you would, consider subscribing to the channel. Just go ahead and hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon, that way you get notified. And of course, if you would, please just give a thumbs up on the video, and let me know down below in the comments if you are excited to see this movie, if you saw it and liked it, or if you saw it and didn't like it. Let me know your thoughts on it. So I'll be honest with you. I won't say zero, like expectations, like at zero, but maybe at like a 10 out of 100. I really was not looking forward to this movie too much. I don't think the trailers were very good, to be honest with you. I think it was a horrible, them coming out and saying that essentially these movies don't matter, but then backtracking and saying it does matter. Like, I'm very confused if this is a franchise that they are going to be using moving forward or not. So I really went into this movie with the mindset of low expectations, as well as not expecting like a one-off, like just expecting to watch a one-off superhero movie, which is fine. Like maybe there's going to be no sequel. Let me just watch it for what it is. And it was okay. It was okay. I don't think this is a bad movie. I don't think it's terrible in any way. I definitely have some negatives, which I'll get into, of course. But I always like to start with the positive. And on the positive side, I thought the lead actor, I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's like Sholo something. I don't know. I don't want to butcher it. And I'm sorry, but he was good. I thought he was actually really good as the lead character, Jaime. I thought he was funny. He had a lot of charisma. He looked the part. Like, I really enjoyed him a lot. And actually, I'm not a fan of George Lopez, to be honest. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of his. But he was actually pretty funny in this movie. He had some really funny moments, some good lines. He got in on the action scenes, which was pretty fun. So I found him to be quite entertaining. I thought he was pretty good. I think the family aspect of this movie really works. They are Mexican heritage in the movie. And, within a lot of the Hispanic cultures, family is very important, very big on family, very close-knit usually. And that's the case here. And I think they did a good job. I actually liked the scenes where it was the family interacting with each other. They had that sort of like love that a family has, but also they, can mess with each other and stuff like that. I thought that was actually really well done. Also, I think the music was good. I like the score and I like the soundtrack. I thought both were good and well utilized. Get a little Cypress Hill in there. We get a little bit of Motley Crue in there. And then they also took some English songs, Michael Jackson, and I forget the other one, and they did like Spanish versions of them. It was pretty cool. Selena, you get a little Selena in there. So it was good. I thought the music was cool. I liked the acting. I thought the cast was good for the most part. And I thought the villain was actually, there's a positive and a negative. So I guess this will transition me into the negatives. I thought the villain was very interesting. I don't mean Susan Sarandon. I mean the guy villain in the suit. You get a little backstory of him towards the end of the film. But I really wish they did more early in the film. Like, he looked awesome. You could tell he had some sort of backstory that was interesting. And you could probably make a whole movie about this guy, and it would be pretty neat. Of course, they're not going to, and they didn't. But I liked him, and that's why it's sort of negative, because I think he was underutilized, to be honest with you. And when you get to the final fight, it reminded me of Iron Man 1, where it's just like two guys in suits, shooting beams and punching each other. So I don't always love when like the hero and the villain are the exact same thing pretty much. And that's what happens here. And in the negatives, this movie reminded me of a lot of other movies. So like when you're watching, you're like, okay, I know this from that movie. And this reminds me of that movie. And like I just said, this part reminds me of Iron Man 1. And I just thought it was derivative of a lot of other superhero films. I wouldn't say it ripped off any other superhero films, but it's not super creative either, I guess. I thought the suit looked cool at times. The suit looked pretty cool. And the lore behind it, it's a little vague for my liking. I think, it's like they say stuff and then you're just supposed to take that at face value. Like, oh, this is an ancient scarab. Okay. It comes from outer space. Okay. And that's really all you know. Like there's nothing else that they factor in or that they tell you that can fill you in onto the origins of this thing or what it can really fully do. So I think that was a little bit of a missed opportunity. Susan Sarandon, I like her as an actress. I've liked her in tons of movies. I really do like her. I mean, they wrote her to be the most generic, like, white person who doesn't like Hispanic people. And it's like, it was like low-hanging fruit, in my opinion. Like mispronouncing everyone's name or just calling them any old Spanish name, even if it's not their name. And all the workers that she has are pretty much like Hispanic people, and she just like lords over them. And, and some of that, like the race relation stuff in the movie, I get what they were going for, trying to be very modern. And like, there's like the whole thing with gentrification of this area where they live in, and how those people have money and we're just poor Latinos. And I don't know. I'm Hispanic too, and I mean, I wasn't crazy about it. I was just like, okay, like, fine. You could do one little thing here, but like the first 15 minutes, that's really the focus. I will say after that, it does get better. So I did enjoy it. One other thing that was kind of weird to me is, and this is not really a spoiler, but like our lead character, he's very like anti-killing, like Batman style. Like, I'm not going to kill anybody. But a lot of people die in this movie from like his family members. So, I mean, they were cool with killing people. They were cool with stomping on them and shooting them and blowing them up, and they don't care. But this guy, he's not going to kill anybody. I thought it was a little bit weird. Either way, I know I had a lot of negatives. I still found the movie to be ultimately entertaining. It's pretty funny. I did like, not all the jokes landed, but a good amount of them did for me. I had some good laughs. Visually, I saw it in IMAX, and actually it was shot with IMAX cameras, so it does switch aspect ratios, which was cool. I'm a fan of that. Like, the IMAX scenes did look good. Some of the effects were good. Some of the effects were not that good. It was a mixed bag. I guess it was better overall than The Flash, though, honestly, and this probably cost less to make. But some of the effects looked pretty good. Some of them looked not so good. So a little bit of a mixed bag, but ultimately a movie I found to be entertaining. Like, I had a good time. As a one-off movie, it does work if they want to do sequels. Really, the way the ending's set up, there's 2 post-credit scenes. So, I mean, they could do more. We'll see. I don't know. As it is, I think you can spend your money on a worse movie than this. I had a pretty good time. I don't think it's amazing, though. So I'm going to give it a very soft 7. It's a 7. I don't think it's terrible in any way. You can have a good time with it. If you want to go in and nitpick, you definitely can. But I did ultimately had fun. There's just some negatives for me. And like, being derivative of other movies, if that's your biggest negative, I mean, it's not that bad, I guess. So anyway, that's my review of Blue Beetle. Please let me know in the comments what you think, or if you're looking forward to it. And I will be back next week with another Out of the Theater review. Until then.